Hello my friends and welcome back to EVE Online with me, Mark from Daleks, and we're in the shattered wormhole, right where I left you at the end of the last video. We're just warping off to the safe point that we bookmarked on the way to that lovely, beautiful, shattered planet. So from our little safe spot here, we're going to do our scanning. We just need to watch out for combat probes and other ships on the D-scan. The system effects are right here. We're in a Class 2 black hole system. We've got a 44% bonus to our speed. We've got a 44% bonus to our maximum targeting range. We've got a 22% bonus to missile velocity and a 44% bonus to missile explosion velocity. That's going to make it a bit easier for kind of battle cruiser sized ships maybe to hit us with their missiles if they should catch up on us, but who knows. So it is offset by the speed and the velocity bonus, so let's see how we get on. Lots and lots of signatures. We'll look at the anomalies in the next video, if you don't mind. I didn't want to get too sidetracked. Let's just see what we can find in our first quick hack, and bear in mind this is literally, we're fresh in the wormhole, so we're just going to start scanning everything down in the shattered wormholes, of which I think there's 75 in the whole of New Eden. You will find some odd anomalies potentially. There are some sites that relate to lore. They can spawn some very good ore sites. They can spawn some very good hackable sites. I'm not sure if there'll be stuff we can't scan down. There may well be. That's something I'm interested to find out while we're here. Some of the sites that a shattered wormhole could spawn, I think they drop more loot, hackable loot, than a Heron could carry. And they have no rats, but how hard they are to scan. And if I could even find one, they're called silent battleground sites. In the middle of those sites there is a destroyed Sanchez Nation Revenant, a Titan, which is a bit of a mystery. What on earth was Sanchez Nation doing in there, eh? I've not been into a shattered wormhole for a little while. The last time was with Erica, the Minmatar alt. She was very young. She only had basic scanner probes as well. She made enough in the shattered wormhole on a relic site to buy herself the Sisters Core scanner probes. So it was worthwhile. I think she did break a few boxes, but she didn't even have maxed out alpha hacking skills and scanning skills. So I'm expecting for a little bit more, but I know for sure we will be able to get some loot out of a shattered wormhole regardless. As for the fact we don't have a cloak, I don't feel especially vulnerable as long as you've got your D-scan set up right, you're vigilant, you keep doing it. There are obviously advantages to having a cloak in that nobody would even be able to start scanning me down. If I see somebody else's probes, combat probes, coming onto my D-scan, I'm just going to warp to somewhere else. If you haven't got another safe saved, it could be a good idea to have two, and I'm sure over the little bit of time we're going to spend in this shattered wormhole, we will have a little network of perches to flick between. As soon as you see somebody scanning you down, you just move. Like I did in the Alpha Goes to Nullsec video, when the Hecate started trying to scan me down, I just messed with him till he got bored. And of course I'm only in a Heron. I'm not worth a big effort of a hunt. Somebody has to be pretty bored or just really want the kills to really chase down a Heron or put a lot of effort into it. The biggest danger really I find when you're hacking at all in low sec or anywhere that people can aggress on you freely is when they've already got the bookmark and they're sat there waiting. People joining you on the site I find is a bit less of an issue. So that's really the dangerous bit for me, is when we land on a site, and to watch out for anyone decloaking on us instantly and be ready to warp out. That is probably going to be when we're at our most vulnerable, apart from of course when we've just gone through a hole and in case somebody is actually camping it. So let's check those kill boards again just to see where we are. And as I said in the last episode, what we're really looking out for is one corp who are just hanging out and killing lots of stuff. Now nobody can put up structures in this here shattered wormhole. There are no moons to anchor them by. So the only way to live in a shattered wormhole is exactly as I am. So nobody has got an advantage over me really in terms of what they've got in this wormhole. It's whatever they brought in with them. I haven't got much, but hopefully we've got everything we need. Now I'm going to speed up a bit more of this scanning now, unless of course anything interesting happens. And we're looking out again. You need to have the relic and data sites with a pirate faction name. I cannot stress that enough. If you go to the data and relic sites that are called Perimeter or Frontier, there may well be sleepers on there, and they can tackle you and kill you very quickly and from very far away. We'll check out the wormholes that we find, but I'm not planning on moving on here for a little while. It really depends on how busy it is. I'm hoping that if we can catch this at the right time, there'll be a lot more signatures than that. Now, scannable signatures will usually spawn within 4 AU of a planet. So what I'm going to do here, because there's quite a cluster of them nearby here, I'm going to put the probes over the celestial here, the planet. I'm going to put it out to 4 AU range, and I'm pretty sure that signature will be within my scan range. Now this can save time in a lot of situations. I kind of work my way through. I've got my own kind of way of doing it, you know me, old dogs and new tricks and all that. The thing is, you can get such a weak signal strength that you really have to rescan stuff again, or you can lose it quite easily. If you just put the scan probes on that anomaly, you will get a trace of everything that is around it. And if you can see clearly what's going on and you've got time, and you want to just get scanning everything down in one go as I'm doing here, because another alternative would be, and it's not happening here, if there was any activity around, if this was quite busy, I would simply log off and come back another time. But that's one way of kind of covering a few signatures at once to a low degree, and then you can start scanning them down at smaller resolutions. I do it by scanning at 8 AU. You usually pick up all the ones around them because they're usually quite clustered anyway. And if there's one by itself, there's not much difference between scanning it and the planet that's nearest it. And you'll find the best way for you, but you can try that. Just scan on top of the planets and see what you find. Anyway, we've got everything here. I've split the results screen off, which I know a lot of people prefer to do. And I'd like to point out that Alpha has scanned everything down in here with no problems whatsoever. Tomorrow we're going to try it with the regular probes. You can arrange the columns here by just clicking on the head of the column so you get them in a type order or distance order. I usually keep them set at range order just so I can see what's there and match the signatures quickly to my D-scan. Anyway, what have we got? Simply, the top site has Frontier in the name. It's a data site, but it has sleepers on it. We're not going there. This one is another data site. It has Garistus in the name. That's a pirate faction. We can hack that and there won't be rats. 2 wormholes to check out. This one, again, sleepers. It says perimeter in the name. Don't go there. This one, Sancha relic site. We can go there, regardless of the rest of the name. The only other name you need to look out for is covert on data sites. We'll talk about that when we find them. They're ghost sites. So we've got another wormhole. We've got yet another perimeter site we can't go to because the rats will kill us. We've got another wormhole to go and check out, and then 2 unsecured Frontier receivers, data sites with rats on. We're not going there. And those sleeper data and relic sites, they're basically combat sites. Most of the loot is in the actual sleeper wrecks that you produce by killing them. The hacks are secondary. They're at the end. I've never got much loot out of the hacks. You can run them in a couple of Alpha Drakes in a C2. We did. But definitely the value of those sites, they are combat sites. It's the loot that is the value. Don't think it's just something you could go and do in a stero and kill a couple of rat frigates. That is not how it works up there at all. Anyway, where are we going to go? We're going to go to the relic site first, because that, I should think, has got the most loot on it than the data site, but we shall find that out. So, this is when we're at our most vulnerable. If somebody scanned this down and decided to invest the time in just sitting there and waiting, cloaked, I'm not going to know they're there till they decloak. So let's see. Once we're on the site, and that hasn't happened pretty much on the warp in, we need to be a little bit wary just in case there was somebody at a perch who's coming towards us maybe, or somebody then who's going to warp up to the site. So they may already have the bookmark scanned, so as soon as we see another ship we're going to be wary. They may already have the bookmark. Don't look for probes now, look for ships. And here we are. These Sancha sites, they're monument sites. They have this big guy. He's the leader, I believe, the founder of the Sancha Nation. I will look up his name. I've forgotten my lore. I'm going to do my usual routine. This is slightly sped up, of course. I'll slow down so we can check the loot in each box just for comparisons. Just keep an eye on the difficulty of the hack compared to the actual loot we got out of it. I love scanning the boxes first. I've talked about it lots. It tells me which ones I just need to crash. It tells me the ones I might want to leave behind if I really don't care. And if it's a little bit busy in the system, then maybe you just get on the site, you scan down all of the boxes, maybe go and head over and hack one. But depending on how far apart they are, you just look for the best loot boxes, maybe grab those and leave all the rest, don't go anywhere near them. It all really depends on how many people there are around. And I'm getting the impression that right now in this wormhole, it is just me. So we got 3.8 mil out of the first box on the first attempt. That's not bad. We got over 4 mil in the second box. I like it when we get a spanner as the very first thing, and as an alpha, use it straight away, because you can use it not to repair but to actually upgrade your coherence, your strength of your hacking. This one's a little bit messy. There's lots of fences in my way here, so we'll fail the first hack. Let's see if we get the second one. I'm not despondent if I fail the odd hack at all. There'll be plenty to do, and as I say, fortunately, the hardest hacks aren't always messing up the best loot at all. That one, let's see. The other thing is, there you go, we're in. Lovely jubbly, that's 4.2 million. We're doing okay so far. The thing is, obviously, I'm doing this as quickly as possible. It's quite hard for me to talk you through the hacks, really. And if I tried to do it live, God knows what kind of garbled mess would I'd actually come up with, because I just want to get in here and go. You don't want to linger. It can seem quite safe. You can get quite complacent quite easily in here. Somebody made a comment on the last video about how relaxed I looked in here. And yeah, I am, because I've been in wormholes a lot. I've been in low sec a lot. I'm used to there being people around. It's not a new thing. I know what the danger signs are. But please, yeah, stay on red alert. Or at the very minimum yellow when you're first coming into wormholes. And please do, yeah, practice your hacking and your general scanning out in high sec, then in low sec maybe. And you can always kind of in your head simulate you being in a more dangerous place than you already are. I mean, there's no reason you can't hack out in high sec with your D-scan running, checking out where all the, anything that comes up. Just check out, see how easily you can locate them. Practice using the D-scan to set the range and use the angles, just to use it. Use it in high sec. It's kind of like your soft play training. As I've said in other videos, you can even start going in and attacking your high-sec belt rats as if they're a PvP enemy, just so you get the measure of your ship's orbit and speed and where you want to, turn things on and off. So there are lots of opportunities for you to train yourself, and we're doing quite nicely here so far. Although the last two boxes combined, well, I think the first one was 320,000 and that one was 82,000 ISK, so kind of pants, and the ones I definitely would have wanted to leave behind. But since I'm going to log out here and stay here, I want them to respawn. Right, so there's 2.4 mil here in box number 5. Look at that beautiful view of the black hole over there. The effects and the graphics in here are looking good. So how hard are the hacks going to be for the 2.4 mil? I was just checking there the other box on the site just to see if it might be worth going to hack that one first, but it's not, so we'll just plod our way through here. You'll also notice in this shuttered wormhole there is an epicenter that is right there on the overview. That's a handy thing to have. If anything lands on grid with me, I hit that, or I have it pre-selected, pre-clicked, and I warp away. It saves time getting to your bookmark, to your save point, and warping to that. So that's a little tip there too. So we've got the 2.4 mil, we've got one more box to go. It's only got about 320,000 ISKs worth of loot in it, but we'll go and have a look. Just getting some screenshots while I'm mooching around. I hope I'm not getting too relaxed in here. We've got the data site to go yet. Now, if I was the hunter, I would usually go to the relic site, because I'd expect more explorers to come to the relic site before the data site, based on my experience, just looking for better loot. If you land on a site and there are already boxes hacked, be extra wary. It could be that somebody's hacked the best loot and is now waiting for you to come to get the rest and is going to kill you. Or at the very least, the best loot from that site is gone and someone else has got that site pre-bookmarked, or they're sitting there waiting for you. So we're up to just over 37 million so far. We're heading over to the data site. So let's see what we find here. D-scan is still clear, and do just keep D-scanning. Don't think, well, it's going to take X amount of time for anything to happen, so I only need to D-scan that often. In that recent Merlin vid, I happened to catch that guy reshipping because I caught him on the D-scan decloaked as he docked and undocked to switch ship. And here we may see that Astero as it comes through the wormhole before it cloaks up and comes hurtling towards us. So do D-scan more than you ever think you need to. Don't just look at how complacent I might be being a little bit here. Especially when you're new to it, the more you do it, the better you are. 1.4 million off the first box in the data site, which isn't bad for a data site, I must say. I'll take it. Let's see if we get anything really cruddy. Now these boxes can sometimes be actually empty or have 1 carbon in them. So what do you do when there's a really junk box and you just can't be bothered, or you haven't got time, but you do want the site to respawn? There are different ways to collapse it. So our cargo scanners told us there's 2.3 mil in this box, which again is pretty good for a data site, but there's always time for a screenshot. These machines are pretty cool. The big blue glowy thing is very impressive. I did get stuck in one once. I've locked my spanner up there by clicking too much. Don't click too quickly. Over clicking, if you click and reveal something, that locks up the grid, then it will lock up the spaces around it, including the power up you may have just unlocked. So we're going to have another go at this box. We failed the first hack. It's quite a good one for a relic site. For a data site. So having a hard hack isn't that much of a surprise, but let's see if we can work our way through it. There we are. I'm going to use the shield to protect me. Those amber nodes can catch me out sometimes. So we got that, and we got the blueprint, which is good. A little bit more added value. Off to the next box. Where are we? Absolute junk. So what we're going to do with the absolutely junk box is head back towards it. We're going to get within, it's targeted, we get within 5k, activate the data analyzer. I'm then going to switch out orbit to 5k or 7.5k, just whack on your micro warp drive. There you go, you swing out a range of 5k and you automatically fail the hack. Just swing back and do it again and the box is gone. I've actually found sometimes, ironically, when you want to, if you go into the hack and just try to fail it really quickly, it just doesn't happen. Nothing comes up to like hit you. So you sit there frantically clicking, try not to hit anything that does you any benefit, want it to die. So the quickest way I've found is to start the hack and then just break the orbit, and there he goes. There's less trash. So that's how you'd quickly, or I'd quickly, collapse a rubbish loot box if I do actually want it to despawn. So we've got 2 more boxes to look at in here. Now we're over here, we're quite close together in amongst them. 2.2 million, we'll have some of that. Let's go and give that hack a go. I'm not going to auto-destroy this box, hopefully. I usually set myself into the 1,000 meter orbit. 500 meters, you can sometimes be a little bit too close to it and get a little bit snagged on the loot box, especially if you want to turn around and just get to the next one or warp away very quickly. 2,500 meters, you might then have to fly back in to pick up the loot. So 1,000 meter orbit is my favored orbit on the box while I'm hacking. Ready to hack it, grab it and go. So we're getting quite a complicated little hack here. Again, I've tutorialized all this properly before. The links will be at the end, or you've seen those videos already. There we go, we're going to protect ourselves against the key node, and we're in. So that's some more good loot. I'm quite impressed. Well, I would say I'm quite impressed. This is kind of average for a data site. I'd like to get a much better relic site going. Right here, I've just blown up the last box. It had 16k's worth of ISK in it. How rubbish is that? Anyway, look at what we got now. We're up to 43 million, which isn't bad for our little Heron. That's 10 times what the whole fit's worth, roughly-ish. So a good start. We're going to do much better though. I'm really, really hopeful of that. We've had nobody really hassle us yet. So there you go. We've just arrived in the shattered wormhole. We've hacked what we could find. We're going to log out, leave things to respawn, come back. Hopefully we can find some cracking sites, some interesting sites, maybe some sites we can't get into. Leave us a like if you've liked it. Comment. Any suggestions are always welcome. Remember, even is believing. Fly safe. Take care and goodbye.